So today we're going to be talking a little bit about farming, and particularly our type of farming here in Puerto Rico. So what type of farming do we do?
Well, we grow just about everything we can get our hands on. A lot of variety of tropicals, fruits and flowers and plants, and some of them do better than others. So I like bananas, she really likes flowers, we both really like avocados and mangoes, different variety. I'm shocked at the amount of variety of just those types of plants that there are in the world. I had no idea that there were 200 different types of edible bananas, for instance. We only got one type in Colorado.
Yeah, and we really like to experiment. We're still, even though we've been doing this for over 10 years here, we still are learning all the time, and there's still new varieties of fruits and plants and flowers. And I mean, we started a cactus garden, for instance, because we wanted to try it. We didn't do orchids for a long time, but now we're even into those, and we've learned there's different types of orchids. Some are for shade, some are for sun. So every plant that you could, variety that you could get into, there's like subgroups all the way down to just the types.
Exactly.
So,
and we've even got coffee plants, and there's different types of coffee plants. Some of them like altitude, some of them like shade.
we got them to grow here too, though. So even though people told us couldn't.
So then we found flowers, and flowers seemed to work really well. We had a ton of them, and we took some of them to the farmer's market one time, and they were really popular. So we started collecting more types of flowers and getting into that realm a little bit more deeply.
Yeah, so that's kind of become now our focus, although I would still say that our permaculture food forest is also up there. The thing about a permaculture, which basically means permanent agriculture, is that you have to wait a long time. So that means you can't just plant a garden and have something in 3 to 6 months like you can a vegetable garden. It means a lot of waiting. You have to be committed to the land for 5, 7, 10 years before you'll even reap any of the benefits of it. But so that was why in the meantime we started to get into flowers, and the bananas come quick and papayas come quick. So some of those other things kind of fit in between while we were waiting. But now we're finally reaping the rewards of those long game ones. So it's kind of like what do we say, that farming or gardening is the slowest of the performing arts.
It is. You gotta wait, and sometimes you wait 5, 10 years for a tree to produce fruit. But when it finally does produce that fruit, it's a victory.
Do a little bit with animals. We have always had chickens. Even when we lived in Colorado, we've been thinking about food security, thinking about having our own source, being somewhat, at least a little bit less dependent on the mainstream for our food. So we've always had chickens since Colorado and beyond.
Yeah.
So we have chickens, we've had turkeys, we've been processed turkeys, we've had ducks, and we're hoping maybe this year we'll get peacocks. So stay tuned for that adventure.
Yeah, there's more to come.
We're novices in this, but I would say now we're at least
getting better.
Intermediates. We've been doing it a long enough time now that we've learned out here. And I wouldn't even really call this a farm so much as a botanical garden, because it's so varied. We do not just specialize in any one thing, and we try to kind of make it fun. So we have like a lot of benches. It's almost like a park.
It is, yeah.
So we kind of are park rangers too.
And that's where even our definition of farm is built upon a culture in Colorado where you have one type of crop, and it might be 1,000 acres of just one type of corn planted perfectly in rows. Whereas that doesn't necessarily mean farm, because we're growing all kinds of stuff. It's just not a monoculture.
Right. And actually I think that's better. More diversity. We see lots of cool wildlife. It feels like sometimes we're in a bird sanctuary. All the different types of birds we see out here. Hermit crabs, skinks, little lizards on the ground, lots of bees flying around, butterflies, and they're all attracted to this because we do have such a good diversity of plants, and we allow for kind of the wildlife to roam free here.
It's more of a food forest.
Yeah.
We're getting there little by little, and we love it.
So we hope you enjoyed this video. It's just a little update on some of the things we've been up to this last month or so, but we always try to add a little bit of things into our videos about our farm, so stay tuned.
adventure.
So this is a duck egg, and this is a chicken egg. Thought I'd show you the difference as we cook them. Okay. So when you cook the eggs, the duck egg to the right here is a lot more white, the white of the egg, and this chicken egg has a slight yellow tip to it. The flavor of the duck and the chicken egg are roughly the same. I would say the duck egg has a slight smell that's different than the chicken egg. Both are very good and delicious. The duck egg is often used more in baking goods, but both are great. We have a khaki duck that lays eggs almost as prolifically as a regular chicken. And here's how they look when they're finished cooking. This is a chicken egg. This is the duck egg. So you can see that the white is just slightly whiter than chicken eggs, and that's just a slightly bigger egg in general. Good provecho. Some of the flowers for Valentine's Day.
Aiden, what day is today?
Love time!
Love time, yeah. Look at my love bug. My barefoot love bug. A bit big as peso. What do we say? Happy Valentine's Day?
Happy Valentine's
Valentine's Day dinner at Ode to the Elephants. This is great. Love it. Beautiful winter weather.
I'm in progress for a wedding. So I had to harvest all these flowers and leaves and things. And I bought a few more anthuriums in order to make these table bouquets, and then I will work on the bridal bouquet and some other decorations soon. Here's all of the table bouquets. Here's the bridal bouquet. Looks like a florist shop in here.
So in the middle of the night we heard a crack and something fell, which isn't unusual. We live in a forest, but it was after a lot of rain and wind. And I think what happens is Algarrobo tree got really heavy. As you can see, it's got all these fruits on it, and those weigh more than the tree is used to, and they catch more wind. So this branch fell onto one of our blooming gardens, and now it's time to use the chainsaw to hack this thing up and clean up the mess. Life on the farm.
stuck in the tree. Like it broke up right there. Chainsaw is a necessary tool for living here.
So this is also what happens after a hurricane, but to the entire island, not just this one tree. So now that we've got most of the branches off, we can see where the tree is, how it fell, how this branch fell, and it's teeter-tottered on this other tree. So this branch is just held up in the air with a lot of potential energy, and we need to figure out the puzzle on which way to get it to fall safely. So we're going to think about it a little bit and see how it comes out.
Got a lot done already.
So the current plan is to take this lower branch and see if we can cut some of it off. It'll reduce the weight and the branch will start to shift that way. Be prepared to run. Throw something at it.
Okay.
Break it.
Rather than being under it?
Yeah. I want to be as far away from that thing as possible.
Cool. That works.
All right. I remember finding ourselves in weird situations. So in an effort to not get crushed by a huge branch that's very heavy, that wood is thick, it's a very hard, dense wood, I'm going to try to pull it from afar with a rope to get it to teeter up and hopefully come out of the tree without crushing us. We'll give it a shot.
Moved it. Still stuck in that little cup though. But it's on the ground, that's good. More on the ground.
Don't kill my mango.
Next rope section. Get this thing on the ground. Somehow.
So I pulled the rope just ever so slightly. All it took was a little bit of pressure that came right down softly. So we're almost there. So now we're back at the teeter-totter, and it's teetered this way, so I'm going to cut weight off this side and it should totter that way. Probably fall on the ground when I make this final cut. I'm going to cut the lower branch first, it'll sit there, and I cut that big one is when it'll go up to. Ran out of gas.
Oh no!
Okay, got gas. Now let's see if it flies. This should be the last cut to get it down. And it's kind of scary. That's a lot of weight, but I think I'm in a safe spot.
Wow. Oh, man.
Got it. Clobbered some plants, but hopefully they're mostly root plants. The mango's still standing.
Wow. Here's more of the mess. We have to clean up, fell on some of our bananas. Aiden loves Algarrobos, so that worked out really good because these trees are huge.
Oh, pumpkin, man. You got these. They smell like sticky toast. Mother, why do you
What did you find? Oh, it does look like a peanut, doesn't it? And Ada, what's that sound back there at Bertito's?
That's a generator.
And why is the generator on?
Probably because maybe the power's out.
That's right, the power went out today.
We started this open, but we can show you how to use it.
What is this, Aiden?
We're opening this Algarrobo.
Okay, show us how you open it.
You open it with the whoppers.
Okay.
And especially we.
Very careful of your foot.
And that's a way to get the seed out.
All right, let's show you. Do you like it?
Stinky foot's good.
It smells like a sticky foot, but you love it. That's your favorite food.
Mhm.
This is a new variety that's coming in. I forget this one is. Here's another one just coming in. I think it's a new one also because I haven't seen this one before. This garden up here we call the Hawaii garden because a lot of these plants come from Hawaii. Can't get them here locally. This is one of my favorites, Lady Lydia. Alright, so this is how we harvest the flowers. Take them down at the stalk about as low as you want to go. And they always have these really long leaves. So it wouldn't work if you had it like that. So then you have to chop the leaves off. Little stalks. And voila, you have your flower, and if you have another, then you can start arranging. Two new beautiful.
A lot of our flowers you can't tell when you just look from the distance. You have to get up under them. And then you'll see there's a ton of them. Kind of hidden, but once you get under the plant, you'll see how many can grow. It's really amazing.
I got all of these Algarrobos.
Are
And look,
you gonna eat all of these Algarrobos?
Yes.
You love them, huh? So now that I've got everything harvested, I'm gonna go inside and put them into arrangements. And the foliage, the leaves, just as important as the flowers. And here is the bouquet, one of them.
This is mine.
Aiden, mango time, right?
Yeah.
Straight from the yard. Woohoo! We planted this coconut about 7 years ago, and we have finally harvested the coconuts. This was a baby from a big tree we had that got struck by lightning and died. So it's really awesome. Finally get its fruits. How pretty it is. Aiden, what kind of lizard is that?
The skink.
It's a skink. It's the
I
first
think
time we've
it looks good.
ever caught a skink, huh? Those are ground lizards. Those are nice lizards. Wow, his skin is super cool.
It looks like a crocodile. Oh my
He's wiggling.
God. I'll put him back in.
This is what avocado flowers look like. So it looks like we will have a pretty prolific year for avocados. Tons of them, tons. This is just one tree. Pomarrosa looks pretty full too.
Mama, Zoe looks so.
This is a new garden we are just starting to plant. This is going to be called the white garden. So all of the plants in here will have a white theme to it. They're white flower, white leaves. This is another garden we have started planting. It's a little bit older. And these are some plants still need to get in the ground. Let's see, these ones are starting to grow. There is heliconia, gingers. This is an old stump of a tree that fell over after Maria. We're still working on having it disintegrate, but until then it's a sprinkler post. Oh, hey pumpkin, I didn't see you there. Our little guard cat. This garden is a little bit older. We call it the zigzag garden. And this is all the new ones. So hopefully this will fill in really pretty. And those are the amazing flamboyants in the distance. More plants to be put in the ground. Most of these we get at the flea market, the Pulgaro. I'm not sure which variety these are, but it is almost ready to be harvested. Oh my gosh, and there's another bunch right there. almost always have bananas and plantains. They're huge. We planted this little coconut patch with just coconuts from the beach that were just left. So they're not ideal because they get super, super tall, but they're great coconuts and it'll make a nice border. Riccon's mowing. Yeah, this field takes a lot of mowing and maintenance. These are called nisperos here, and super delicious. One of my favorite fruits. Tastes like brown sugar pears. These tamarinds are almost ready to harvest. This tree is really big, so it's hard to harvest. Really good. Mini pineapples.
La casa muévete, la casa muévete, la casa muévete, hasta allí. La casa muévete, la casa muévete, la casa muévete, la casa muévete. Es mejor si tú muevas casa, casa, casa muévete, casa muévete, casa muévete, casa muévete, casa muévete.
Is that a new song? La casa muévete.
Now off.